Okay. Narayana namaskritya narayachava narottamam devam sarasatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nasta prayesha bhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamasloke bhakti bhavati naistike vede ramane chava purane bharate tata hado adyacha mahadecha hare sabata giyate mokam karti vachalam pangu langariche gri Ya Kripataham Vande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dhamma Purjita Katavota Paramone Bashram Satam Vedam Vastavam Matavast Shivadan Tapatayo Molana Shima Bhagavati Mahamani Kriten Kiva Paraishvara Sadho Rudi Avarudita Kritikita Krishanam Nigama Kapatalu Galitam Palam Sukam Mukant Basandutam Bhāgavatam Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Mahura Urasika Bhavaka Yashavashi Yashramayan Krishna Paramapurushe Bhakti Uttabade Pansa Sukamoa Bhapaha Atoyam Brahma Sutranam Paratata Pinilaya Kayati Basha Rupasho Vidata Paribrimita Sabhavidetiya Sanam Saram Saram Paribrimita Sabhavidantam Saram Nishi Bhakta Nishyati Tarasamita Chiptasya Nayatya Sharati Kochi Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutali Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Chinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurabhani Pracharine Nebise Sunya Bhadi Pashatya Deshatarine Vanchaka Patrubhyasa Kripasindhve Vacha Patita Nam Pavanavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadahara Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. So I thank everyone for being online on Vedavarsity this evening. I don't know what's depending on your time, depending on which part of the world you are, but here I'm actually today in Delhi. I'm supposed to be in Vrindavan. I'm from Vrindavan, but I'm currently in Delhi, East Carolina. And today is the Ram Navami. So happy Ram Navami to everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful celebration. So today we'll be talking about the Navadvipa Bhakti, the 9 processes of devotional service. The nine processes of surrender. What is need to surrender unto Krishna, unto the Supreme Lord. Today, being Lord Ram's appearance day, and Lord Ram is the Supreme Lord himself. Lord Ram is not different from, is not different from Lord Krishna. It just happened that the Lord appeared approximately about 3 million years ago as Lord Ram in Treta Yuga, and Lord Krishna appeared just over 5,000 years ago at the end of Dwapara Yuga. Now, one of the foremost statements of Lord Ram is that if one simply said to me that, my Lord, I surrender unto you. The Lord said, from that moment on, I will take that person as my home. I will never forget that person. So which means once you surrender to the Lord, say, my dear Lord, I am yours. The Lord said, from that moment on, he will take care of you. Which means you will never be lost. That's a promise that Lord Ram made. So that's how do we surrender to the Lord? So there are nine processes of devotional service. Never Vida Bhakti, nine processes of surrender. And what does this surrender means? This is what we're going to talk about. Towards at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna told Arjuna that Sarvadharma Parityagya Mamekam Saranam Braja Ahantra Savapapebhyo Mokshasyami Masuchaha. That just give up all dharma, just give up all the religious processes, simply surrender unto me. Mamekam Saranam Braja, surrender only unto me, and I will protect you from all kinds of path, from all kinds of sinful reactions. So, Masucha, do not fear. So the same thing Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, that just surrender to me. Give up all other endeavors. Simply worship me only. Throughout the many statements in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said, Mamana Bhagavad Bhakto, Mat Yajima Namaskuru, Mam Evasyasyutamte, Patijano Priyosime, that once you surrender to him with all one's mind, all one's senses, with that, once you give up all other consideration, that once you simply surrender unto this Lord. In his great writing, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Nectar Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami, he described what is surrender. What is what does it mean to surrender to God, to render devotional service? What does bhakti means? So in the beginning of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami said, Hanya Bilasita Sunyam, Jnana Kamadi Anabritam, Anukuyena Krishnano Shilana Bhakti Uttama, that one should give up all other endeavors. Hanya means all other endeavors should be given up. Which means there should be no desire for karma, there should be no desire for gyan. Anything that has nothing to do with Krishna, there should be no aspiration for that. One should simply, Anukuyena Krishna. Only what is favorable for devotional service to Krishna. That one should be one's engagement. That is surrender. That is Sanagati. Sanagati means to surrender unto the Lord. And it's that process of surrendering that will make the Lord become attracted to us. Krishna is all attractive, but Krishna becomes very attractive to bhakti of his devotees. Just like devotees, they want to run after Krishna. They run after Krishna, after the Supreme Lord. They want to run after him. But the Lord is the swiftest runner. How much if you want to, you run after him, how can you catch him? You run after him after you catch him. But devotees run after Krishna because they run after Krishna because due to pure love. Due to pure love. So love for him, pure love means no other consideration, only love for Krishna only. So when devotees run after Krishna, Krishna allowed himself to be caught. And then he also run after his devotees. So it becomes like a cat and mouse chase. Yeah, but the Lord himself started running after his own devotees. But this is love only out of pure love, when there's no other consideration in the process of surrender. So the great devotee Prahlad Maharaj was the son of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was a great demon who who fought with the Lord millions and millions and millions, billions and billions of years ago, long time. The Hiranyakashipu, when Lord Nishingadev came, and then Lord Nishingadev came and killed Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu was a great demon, and he considered the Supreme Lord to be his great enemy. And being a great demon, he was he had terrorized the entire universe, and he chased the demigods out of their palaces in the heavenly planet. He even took over the palace of Indra in the heavenly planet. So all the demigods, they had to leave their places, and they were simply hiding themselves in the cloud. So the demigods, then they prayed to the Supreme Lord to manifest, to take care of this demoniac element that has pervaded the entire universe, to come and take care of this situation. Whenever there is a dharma, the Lord comes. Paritnaya sadhuna. Vinasaya duskrita. Two things: to protect the devotees and to kill the demons. So the Lord comes, the Lord makes his incarnation. Paritnaya sadhuna. Vinasaya duskritam. So the Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee of the Lord. Yes, a great devotee, but he was also born into the family of the greatest demon, Hiranyakashipu. He was Hiranyakashipu's son. But Prahlad, when he was in the womb of his mother, at that time, the demigods, they had kidnapped Prahlad. They had kidnapped Prahlad's mother, because at that time Prahlad was in the womb. So the demons, the demigods, they kidnapped because they wanted to kill the child that was inside the womb of the mother, inside the womb of Hiranyakashipu's wife. Because that time, Hiranyakashipu had gone to the mountains to do severe tapasya, so that he can be deathless. So when the demigods, when they were taking Kayadu, the wife of Hiranyakashipu, away, and then the great sage Narada Muni, he stopped the demigods, asking them, "What are you doing? And where are you taking this woman?" So the demigods said they are taking, because this woman is the wife of Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu being a great demon, so his son must be greater than him. His son that's about to be born must be greater than him. So therefore, we are taking her away so that this child inside her womb can be killed. But Narada Muni told the demigods, said that, no, you are making a big mistake. The person that is inside the womb of this woman, she is a great devotee of the Lord. Is a great devotee. And because a great devotee of the Lord, even if you try to kill him, you can never kill him. Because it's always, devotees are always under the protection of the Supreme Lord. Even if you try to kill him, you will be unsuccessful. So therefore, you should release this woman to me, and then I will take her to my ashram. I will take care of the situation. So Narada Muni, he took Kayadu, who's the wife of Hiranyakashipu, he took her to his ashram. She was pregnant. She was pregnant with the baby Prahlad inside. And then Narada Muni started giving spiritual instruction to the mother and the baby. He was giving siksha to him while in the womb. Spiritual life can have no impediment. The reception of spiritual life can be taken by anybody at any stages of life. The reception of a spiritual teaching, and especially when it's coming from a great personality like Nada Muni. The great personality like Nada Muni, they can have no barrier when it comes to give spiritual instruction. So even though Prahlad was in the womb, he was hearing the teaching of Nada Muni. So Nada Muni was teaching the process of bhakti, the process of devotional service, the process of how to develop a great hankering and great love for the Supreme Lord. So he heard the teaching from the womb. So Prahlad became highly learned, great devotees of the Lord. He received all the spiritual instruction while in the womb of his mother. And then, of course, started chanting the Lord's holy name. So, and then, in the meanwhile, Prahlad was born. He came out of the womb of his mother. And then, so Hiranyakashipu, he came back from his austerity after he had secured his boon from Lord Brahma, that he will not be killed by any entity. He will not be killed daytime, nighttime, on the ground, in the sky, in every conceivable way, by any weapon made by man. He will not be killed by any. So Hiranyakashipu, he thought himself to be immortal, because he thought that now he had tricked Brahma into give him all these benedictions so that he can become immortal. He took himself that, yes, he has not become immortal, he can do what he likes. So therefore he became the greatest terrorist, killing everything, all the brahmanas, the cows, and everything, creating a big chaos in the universe. So Prahlad was brought back from the ashram Nada Muni, and the Prahlad would always be chanting the Lord's name, you know. Jaya Narayana Narayana Hari Hari Swami Narayana Narayana. So many songs he'd be singing, and I will always be meditating, always be remembering the Supreme Lord Hari. So, being a small boy, Hiranyakashipu, he initially was very, very affectionate to his son. He was very, very affectionate to his son. And because every father always wants the great things for the children. So Hiranyakashipu, he desired great things for his son, Prahlad. First, he needed to be educated first. He wanted him to be educated so that he can be educated in all the diplomatics, politics, in all the materialistic affairs, so that he can also become a great materialist just as himself. So that he can become a great materialist such as himself. And then, so he sent Prahlad to Gurukul, to the ashram, to the school of Sanda and Amaka. These are the two teachers of Prahlad. And these two teachers, they were actually the sons of Sukracharya being, who is the guru of the demons, the guru of Hiranyakashipu. So these two teachers, they are expert. They're the most expert in all the material science. They're expert at everything. And they want to, because Prahlad had come to their school, and Prahlad is the son of the benefactor, Hiranyakashipu. So they have to give him the best education. So they were giving him all the great teachings about materialistic life, about how to be devious, all the aspects, all the nasty aspects of politics, everything they were teaching him. And so they taught themselves to be now that, yes, we are giving great education to this boy. This boy had been nicely educated. Now, let us now go and present him to his father, Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu was very, very happy to receive his son in his palace. He was very, very happy to receive his son. And he wanted to find out how much education Prahlad had received from the school. He wanted to find out after, every father wants to know how much progress their children is having in their education. So one day, Hiranyakashipu, he brought Prahlad, he put him on his lap, said, "Oh, my dear son, tell me what you have learned in the school. Tell me what you have learned. I'm so curious to know." And then Prahlad started giving this instruction. Said, "My dear father, this is what I have learned in the school." So this is our today's topic. Prahlad's answer to his father, the answer. So Sri Prahlad said, Uvacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Vajanam Vandanam Dashanam, Sakam Atmani Vedanam, Iti Punsa Pita Vishnu, Bhakti Chanava Lakshanam, Yeta Bhagavati Yada, Tanmaya Ditambutamam. So we are reading from chapter 7 of this, Canto 7 of the Bhagavatam, Canto 7, chapter 5, text 23. Actually, go to text 24. So if you have Bhagavatam with you, you can open your book. That is Canto 7, chapter 5, text number 23. And the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. On today's discussion is going to be based on the translation and purport of Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada has given us a very, very long purport to this verse. Very, very long purport, several pages. So that we're going to try to go systematically, but it's very long purport. So Sri Prahlad said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu. Remembering him, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. This is very, very translation onto Krishna. Navada Bhakti. Papa Vaishnava Prabhupada. When Prahlad Maharaj was asked by his father to say something from whatever he had learned, he considered that what he had learned from his spiritual master was the best of all teachings, whereas what he had learned about diplomacy from his material teachers, Sanda and Amaka, was useless. Bhakti Parisano Bhavo Virakti Anyatracha. 11:42 Bhagavatam. This is the same thing of devotional service. A pure devotee is interested only in devotional service, not in material affairs. To execute devotional service, one should always engage in hearing and chanting about Krishna or Lord Vishnu. The process of temple worship is called archana. How to perform archana will be explained herein. One should have complete faith in the words of Krishna, who says that he is a great well-wishing friend of everyone. Suridan Sarvabhutanam, Bhagavad Gita 5:2. A devotee considers Krishna the only friend. This is called Sakya. Pusampita Vishnu. The word Pumsa means by all living entities. There are no distinctions permitting only a man or only a Brahmana to offer devotional service to the Lord. Everyone can do so. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:32, Striyo Vaishyatata Sudras Tipi Yanti Parangati. Although women, Vaishyas and Sudras are considered less intelligent, they also can become devotees and return home back to Godhead. So bhakti is that process by which the Supreme Lord can be satisfied. The bhakti only, the meaning of bhakti means that only. The bhakti cannot be applied to any form of material relationship. There can be no such thing as bhakti to my family members, relatives, bhakti to my society. Because the bhakti entails no expectation of any reward or any result. Bhakti actually means to give that complete heart rendition, heart rendering, to give wholesale heart process. Because in this material world, there can be no such a thing as a selfless service. Such a thing as selfless is not in this material world. Because everybody wants to receive a particular service based on their particular service interest. Even when you're doing something for someone in this material world, the moment you stop doing that, you become a personal non grata. Nobody will. So which many people, they only appreciate you, they only want you as long as you are giving something, you are rendering something. But the moment you lack capabilities to continue doing that, then you are neglected. Whereas in the spiritual circle, it's not like that. Krishna will never neglect a devotee. Even if a devotee, let's say, become lacking in the situation, even if a devotee fall down in the process, still Krishna will never abandon his devotees. Lord Krishna told Arjuna, he said, Konteya Patijanehi Name Bhaktiya Pranasyati. He said, Arjuna, tell everyone that Krishna devotee will never perish. It doesn't matter how much you give, how much percentage you're able to do in a particular lifetime. That will never last. And the Lord promises that he will take care of it. Become a devotee, he will take care of it. That is the last promise. So the last promise to everyone who surrenders unto him. So when we're talking of bhakti, the real bhakti definition cannot be found in this material world. Actually, in the material world, there is no bhakti in the material world. Only in the spiritual world there's bhakti. Because spiritual world, the bhakti is an activity of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there are three things in the spiritual world. Three things. There's Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. There is Bhakta, the devotees, and then there is Bhakti, which is that loving exchange that devotees have to the Supreme Lord. That is only there in the spiritual world. So Bhakti have no place in the material world. Because in the material world is a place of exploitation, whereby everyone simply see how they can exploit other persons. Even the so-called worship of God that you find this material world, it's all about how people can say, oh, let me worship God so that he can provide my needs. I go to the temple, I go to the church, I go to the mosque, so that I can give all my demands. I can give a whole long list of what is needed. I can give a long list so that the Lord can provide this. Like I live in Vrindavan, many people come every day. Thousands of people come every day for pilgrimage. But why are they coming? They are not coming for pilgrimage just because they want to satisfy the Supreme Lord. They are coming because they know that by coming to a place of pilgrimage, they will get a particular benefit, a materialistic benefit, either more money or success in life or freedom from disease. So people come from all kinds of, all kinds of needs. That's why they come. But no one is coming for the purpose of serving the Supreme Lord, because service requires selflessness. It requires, I just want to give a hand, which means when we say, especially when we make the pranam, we say nama, like nama, nama means not me. Nama means not mine, which means this body do not belong to me. Nama ho means of offering business to the Guru or to the Lord. When you say with Nama, the pronunciation with Nama means not me, not mine. This body belongs to the Supreme Lord. So a person, a devotee is the one who says the body does not belong to him, the body belongs to the Supreme Lord. So therefore the body is meant for the pleasure, for the service of the Supreme Lord. So this process that Prahlad is talking about here, this 9 process of bhakti or devotion, which begins from hearing. It begins from hearing. From hearing about the name, the activities, pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So after performing sacrifices, sometimes a person engaged in fruitive activity customarily offers the results to Vishnu. But here it is said, Bhagavad Yada, one must directly offer everything to Vishnu. This is called sannyas, not merely nyas. Sannyas means everything. Nothing again belongs to me. A Tridandi sannyasi carries 3 dandas, signifies Kaya Mano Vakya, body, Kaya Mano Vakya, which means body, mind, and words. All of these should be offered to Vishnu. And then one can begin devotional service. So the devotional service does not begin until you're ready to offer everything. That's what we call devotional service. When you consider this body, this mind, everything, unto you only. Our great predecessor Acharya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his famous song, he said, Manasa deo geo yogichu mo apilu to yapade nanda kiso. So he said that, my dear Lord, Nanda Kishore, my dear, they say my body, mind, soul, everything, I offer them unto you only. This belongs to you. Everything becomes yours only. Very, very wonderful songs of surrender. So, Prabhupada continue writing. All of this should be offered to Vishnu, and then one can begin devotional service. Fruitive workers first perform some pious activities, and then formally or officially offer the results to Vishnu. The real devotee, however, first offers his surrender to Krishna with his body, mind, and words, and then uses his body, mind, and words for the service of Krishna as Krishna desires. You can say this is very interesting thing that Prabhupada wrote here. That normally people say, okay, I will, I'm going to do my work, I'm going to do my activities, and then I will offer the result to God, to Krishna. I perform my work, and then I'll give the word to Krishna. Just like in the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which actually describes Karma Yoga. One of the famous sloka is Kamani what's the Kamani Adhikaraste Mahafale Sunkaratana, that also Kamani that perform your duty and just without the desire without the desire to get a result. Perform your duty. So everyone in this material world, especially those who want to call themselves religious, they say, oh, I'm going to perform my duty. After all, Krishna said in the Gita, Kamandi Vedikara say, perform your duty. So I'm performing my duty. And then I will give donation to the temple. I will do some seva and all this. So this is my duty. And this is my religion. But this is not a party. This is it's like a business. It's like a business. Just like when Dhruva Maharaj, after he was able to please the Supreme Lord, Lord Narayana, and the Lord appeared to him that, my dear boy, no, you asked for a boon, ask me for something. So Dhruva Maharaj replied, say, my Lord, I am not interested in business. This is a business transaction that I do service and then you give me something so that I can do more service for you. This is business transaction. Shivani Mahanik, I'm not interested in business transaction. My only interest is this body belongs to you. I simply want to render loving devotional service unto you. So a devotee, first he consider his body, his mind, everything belongs to Krishna. A devotee consider his house, his family, everything belongs to Krishna. So my dear Lord, this house belongs to you, this children belong to you, these are your servant. What is my role? My role is I'm simply a caretaker, and I am simply managing what you are giving, what belongs to yours. I'm simply managing them as your caretaker. And any happiness or distress that may come does not belong to me, because after all, this is your household, this is your situation. So a devotee, so you can consider everything to be the Supreme Lord. So he simply uses those things only for the happiness of the Supreme Lord. And he does those things as the Lord pleases, as the Lord desires. You can see. So the difference between pure devotional service and mixed devotional service is there. Sometimes when people are really their so-called bhakti, sometimes they get depressed, they get unhappy sometimes. But when one is rendering pure devotional service, there is no distress. A devotee is always happy. Kevala Ananda can there with me. A devotee is always happy. Like Prabhupada will say, simply blissful, simply wonderful. That's price of pure devotional service. Because the service is meant to give Krishna pleasure. So a devotee is always happy because a devotee never in any circumstance consider anything to be his. So what does not belong to you, and you are giving it to the owners. So how can you feel this way when a child take money from the father's pocket, take money from his father's pocket, and then he goes and buys something to come and give to the father? So the father is very happy that my child is bringing me something, even though he took money from his pocket and the child is going to come and give it. So the child is happy, and the father is also happy. Oh, my son is giving this, and the child is happy to know that, oh, I'm giving this to my father. So pure devotional service is that they want to come to the realization that yes, nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to God, everything belongs to Krishna. So devotional service means utilizing those things that already belong to God, utilizing them for the Lord's service as the Lord pleases, as the Lord desires. So Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So this is very, very long purport because this 9 process of devotional service, which purpose is a very long elaboration. To actually finish this is not a 1 hour class, even 2-hour class. It can take us several days of elaboration. Because Prabhupada actually go very, very deeper into every aspect of non-devotional service. I just read this paragraph. The Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Saraswati Thakur gives the following explanation in his Tatya. The word Shravana refers to giving oral reception to the holy name and description, laws, qualities, entourage, and pastimes as explained in Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita and similar authorized scriptures. After orally receiving such messages, one should memorize these vibrations and repeat them. Kirtana. Smarana means trying to understand more and more about the Lord. And Parasevana means engaging oneself in serving the lotus feet of the Lord according to the time and circumstances. Archana means worshiping Lord Vishnu as one does in a temple. And Vandana means offering respectful obeisances. Mamana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyajiman Namaskuru. This is from Bhagavad Gita 1865. Vandana means Namaskuru, offering obeisances or offering prayers. Thinking oneself to be Nitya Krishna Das, everlastingly a servant of Krishna, is called Dasyam. And Sakya means being a well-wisher of Krishna. Krishna wants everyone to surrender unto him because everyone is constitutionally his servant. Therefore, as a sincere friend of Krishna, one should preach this philosophy, requesting everyone to surrender unto Krishna. Atmanivedanam means offering Krishna everything, including one's body, mind, intelligence, and whatever one may possess. This is that process of the devotional service to Krishna, which begins from Shravana, begins from hearing. Now, there have been many great devotees of the Lord, because there are 9 processes of devotional service which are described, which are mentioned here in the scriptures. That yes, once we perform all these 9 processes in order to attain the Supreme Lord, which begins from hearing, Shravana, Kirtana, chanting, Smarana, remembering, Parasevana, which means to focus on the Lord, Archana, and all that, and all the way to Atmanivedana, the surrendering of everything. So these are 9 processes of devotional service which I described. However, because every aspect of devotional service can actually enable one to attain all perfection. One can achieve all perfection even just by performing just one of the processes. Each of the process is self-contained. Each of the processes is enabled can get one perfection. It's not that one has to be doing all the 9 process. And of course, there are many devotees who are able to do 1, 2, or 3, more than that, or even to do all the 9. The great example is marriage Ambarish, which is described in the 9th canto of Bhagavatam. The Ambarish marriage, who was able to perform all the 9 prayers of devotional service. Savayamana Padara Krishna, Savayamana Padara Krishna, Krishna was Padaravindayu, Krishna, that Vajansi Vakuta Gunanavada. So I was describing how Ambarish Maharaj was able to perform all the 9 processes of devotional service, which means from hearing, chanting, remembering, worshiping the lotus feet, the deity worship. That can be considered the Lord's servant. So there are many devotees who are able to do just by performing one, they attain all perfection. Some examples are given that Parikshit Maharaj, just by he was only here by hearing about the pastimes of the Supreme Lord from Sukadeva Goswami. By hearing, he attained perfection. He only hear because Parikshit Maharaj was at the end of his life. So he sat on the back of the Ganges and he asked Sukadeva Goswami, what should a person do who is about to leave this world? What should be the prime duty of such a person? And Sukadeva Goswami said that the person should hear about Krishna, should hear Krishna Katha. And this is what Parikshit Maharaj did. So he heard Krishna Katha from the mouth of great devotee, pure devotee, Sukadeva Goswami. And by hearing Krishna Katha, he attained the ultimate goal of life. And also, Kirtana, the process of speaking about Krishna. By speaking Harikatha, one can attain the ultimate goal of life. So they said that the prime example is Sukadeva Goswami, that by Sukadeva Goswami, by reciting the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, he attained perfection. Because by speaking about Krishna, all the senses all engage automatically. Everything becomes engaged. By speaking about Krishna, one can actually see the spiritual world right before one's eye. So Sukadeva Goswami, by speaking, he was speaking for 7 days. For 7 days, Sukadeva Goswami was speaking. He wasn't tired. He was speaking for 7 days. Because Krishna Katha is very, very sweet. The more one speaks Krishna Katha, the more one would speak Krishna Katha. One would never get tired of speaking Krishna Katha. And that's why Bhaktivedanta said that a devotee has life. A devotee has life because he's always talking about Krishna. He's always talking about Krishna. You never get tired talking about Krishna. And the devotee was also the hearer, because of also having a similar taste, was also hearing. He never get tired. The person who is hearing never get tired of hearing, and the person who is speaking never get tired of speaking. So both of them, they get absorbed in transcendental bliss for 7 days and 7 nights, without tired, without feeling hunger or feeling sleepy, just continuous here speaking. They didn't feel the pass of hunger, no need of, for 7 days non-stop. So we have to try to compare ourselves to that. How much have we developed eagerness to hear by the Supreme Lord? How much have we developed the taste to hear and to chant, to describe the Lord's glory? How much taste have we developed? If we develop such taste, so which means we are ready to get out of this nasty material world. Let me see, I think some message is coming. So many devotees, the idea of each by performing one aspect, they attain perfection. Smarana, Prahlad Maharaj was an example of Smarana, of always continuously remembering the Supreme Lord. And by his continuously remembrance, was always being under the protection, even though Rakashipu tried to kill him in so many ways. He could not be killed. He could not be killed. In any ways, the varieties of way, he was beaten by the serpent, he was thrown from the mountains, jumped into the ocean, many things. Still, Prahlad could not be killed because Prahlad was always remembering the Supreme Lord. And Parasevana, the serving the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord is exemplified by Lakshmi Devi, always at the feet of the lotus feet. And Archana, the process of worship, this is described to be Prithu Maharaj, who is always engaged in the worship of the Supreme Lord. Sakya, being a servant of the Supreme Lord, the servant of the Supreme Lord is exemplified by Anuma, great servant of the Lord. And Sakya means friendship. Arjuna is great friendship of Lord Krishna. So it's a great friendship. It's a great friend of Lord Krishna. And of course, Atmanivedanam, being completely, surrender everything unto the Supreme Lord. And of course, Ambarish Maharaj was exemplified that. So many different devotees, they simply take upon one of the processes of devotional service, and then they become perfect in doing that. So similarly, the same thing we have to do. We have to see what is most attractive, what is most amenable to us in terms of, are we better chanting? Are we better in hearing or remembering? So we have to see, and of course, the best thing, of course, is to follow the footsteps of the previous authorities. So let me see if there's some question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for your wonderful session. And as you said in your class, that as Krishna is all attractive, so if we want to attract Krishna, we need to surrender. And when devotees run after Krishna, he becomes God and he also runs after his devotees. And Prabhuji, how you beautifully explained the story of Prahlad Maharaj. And you told us that when one is rendering pure devotional service, then there is no distress, and a devotee never considers any circumstances as his. And Krishna Katha is very sweet, so the more we speak, no one will get tired, or the more we hear, no one will get tired. And if we want to compare ourselves, we can check how much eagerness have we developed to hear the glories of the Lord. So it was a very wonderful and very beautiful session, Prabhuji. We are very grateful to you for conducting such a session. Now there are just few questions. I can speak out them for you and then you can answer. Is it fine with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. So the first question is, how can householders best serve Krishna?
The best way the householders can serve Krishna is to simply follow the example which was best practice by our previous authority Acharya, like especially the prime example, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was a Grihastha. He was a householder. He was a court magistrate, whereby in the daytime he would go to the courts and do his duty, and then in the evening time we'll be doing activities of devotional service, such as writing and doing Harinam, speaking, talking about Krishna. So first of all, one should not see one's household life to be separate from Krishna. One should consider one's household life to be Krishna's property. One's house should be considered Krishna's house. So therefore, one should not see one's house to be separate from Krishna. In your house should be as good as a temple. House should be considered a temple of Krishna, whereby people can become very, very happy and serve Krishna there. So the house should not be considered a place of sense gratification. It should be considered a place of worship. If you consider your house a place of worship, then you are doing devotional service to Krishna. So, of course, there are a lot of consideration, but the main thing is that one's house should not be seen as a place for enjoyment. It should be seen as a place whereby the glory of the Lord's name and pastimes is being chanted and is being glorified. And once in place, rendering everything for his service.
Yes, thank you for your answer, Prabhuji. The next question is, if we do a bunch of services in bits and pieces, for example, a little bit of cooking, some altar services, random hearing, cleaning the temple sometimes, giving lectures sometimes, I feel that we are spread too thin. Does it make sense then to give up some services and focus on one or two that are close to our heart?
No, the thing is that one should be guided by an authority, because service does not mean that we just do things on the whimsical way. Service actually means we follow the authority of a spiritually advanced person. That's how we do service. So a spiritual advanced person will guide us on what to do. So, for example, if let's say the festival comes, and then say, okay, maybe you have to do some cooking for the Lord, But normally, of course, in our day, there should be a permanent service, by which we'll do, because we should not render service whereby we come to the place whereby we feel burnt out. We feel burnt out of activities, which often happen among the body. They feel burnt out because they are doing so much, so they feel burnt out. Service should never come to that platform. Now, as I said before, that devotional service is joyful. It's a joyfully performed. It's not something that has any strain in it. But that's why one must have a competent guidance. A competent Siksha Guru must be there who will guide us in our day-to-day. And the person must be a true well-wisher. A guardian must be a true well-wisher who actually have our self-interest at heart. And when that person guides us nicely and we render service accordingly, then there'll be no problem. There'll be no feeling of being burnt out. There'll be no feeling of stress, because you're being guided nicely and everything you are doing is of joyful nature. See?
Yes, Prabhuji. The next question is chanting alone equal to smaranam and shravanam? And how can we optimize it to involve other forms of 9 processes in our chanting?
So, as I said, that the Shravana Kirtana Smana Parasivana Achana Padansa Sakyana Pamidana, those processes there, that it's not that one has to do all the 9 processes of devotion. If you just one, you can do nicely, stick to that only. Stick to that. If you can just by hearing, which is Shravana, just by hearing alone, that's what you can do. You can do that. And if just by speaking Harikatha or chanting, of course, you should always chant it. Of course, you should always be doing your Nam Japa. That's what you should always be doing. Because by doing Nam Japa, then you come to the realization. The realization comes to the Kirtan and the Nam Japa process. So all the 9 processes is not that you have to do all of it. Just do whatever you feel that you're capable of doing. Just do that. Krishna accepts. As I said, there are many devotees, just by doing one aspect of devotional service, they attain perfection. Similarly, also you can do the same. You can follow the same process, and that's why we always say that yes, follow an authority, seek out a spiritual guidance, seek out a competent spiritual guide who will guide you, who will guide you, and then you will do your bhakti under the guidance of such a person. Then you will attain the success.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji, do you
Krishna.
have...
Next question.
Yes, Prabhuji, we have 2 or 3 more questions. Is it okay with you? Do you have the time?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. So the next question is, why Sakhyam and Atma Nivedanam are considered to be very rare found processes of bhakti?
Why Atma Nivedana, which is complete surrender, complete self-surrender, is very, very rare because not everyone is able to do all those 9 processes of devotional service. So, and yeah, of course, Atma Nivedana, complete self-surrender, whereby you sacrifice your whole being, no more. Everything is given up. This is a complete self-sacrifice. But in this world, we always want to hold on to something. We don't want to give up. We want to hold on to something. Especially, let's say we have affection for, let's say for some family member or something. We have some hidden affection that is there. So because we always want to hold on to something, so this self-surrender, Atma Nivedana, is very, very rare thing. It's very, very rare thing by which somebody simply wants to say, okay, my dear Lord, I simply, give up everything, no attachment. I'm just only, my dear Lord. It's very, very rare thing. That time will come about when you are ready to turn your back to this material world. For so long, we have turned our back towards Krishna, and then we are facing the material world, we are embracing the material world for so long. Now, when we are ready to turn our back away from the material, back away from Krishna, and turn towards Krishna, and turn our back to the spiritual world, to the material world, then at that time, self-surrender is possible. And that takes a lot of witness where we must have undergone through so many troublesome aspects of this material world. We must have been given so much tribulation in the material world and then we come to the point that this material world is not good for me. I'm simply facing one disappointment after the other. This material world is not good. What is this ocean of materialistic existence? So when such awareness start coming to us, then we start to, oh my dear, hey Krishna, Pahimam, save me. Pahimam, I'm ready to surrender, I'm ready to fall, then you want to fall and go for the lost. Crying out to the Lord. The Lord accept me, crying out to the Lord. So, but it's very, very rare thing. Everyone want to simply go with the outstretched and crying out to the Lord. Not everyone, because especially when we have a good thing in this world, we have good situation, let's say, good household, good earnings, good family member. It's like, what is, why should I cry to God? I already have everything. So when the material world, under the illusion, is being good to us, so we don't see the need to cry to the Lord. We don't see the need to surrender to the Lord. So devotees is very, very rare thing. Bhakti is Sudulabha. Krishna Bhakti is Sudulabha. It's very, very rare thing, this material world. It's only when we've come to come the experience, the tough experience of this material world is not good for us. It's only at that time we start running towards Krishna.
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Yes, the last question for the night is Prabhuji. I have been living and serving for over 5 years as full-time pujari and sankirtanir around some African countries. Until the turning point, I had to get married. Although we have a home temple, now I cannot live without it and struggling to make balance and take care of the family. What can I do?
Yes, of course, as I say again and again, you have to submit these points to your spiritual guidance. It's very, very important to have a personal relationship with your guidance. A personal relationship whereby someone that you can reveal your mind, like it's Rupa Goswami, he described the process of bhakti. He said, Dadati, Pratignati, Goyan Akyati Prichati. Especially Goyan Akyati Prichati means that one should be able to make confidential inquiry, and one should be able to reveal one's mind, to reveal one's mind. Now, how do you do that? It's a pretty lakshanam, pretty, which means out of when there's love there, pretty lakshanam, which means somebody who has your good interest at heart, somebody who's your well-wisher, pretty lakshanam, somebody that you can reveal your mind to. Then, of course, such a person, of course, must be an advanced person who can be able to give you proper guidance. Then, this problem this question you're asking can be dealt with if you have such a person that you can reveal this problem to. That this is the problem I'm having. I want to, I'm entering into also life. I don't know what to do. Making money is difficult. This is what to do. So, but the person who is guiding you will be able to give proper counseling, be able to give proper guidance. The person who's guiding you. So it's very, very important that both you have a confidential guide in their life. A confidential guide in their life. Otherwise, the alternative is the temple authority. But the temple authority must be a person who's like a well-wisher, must be a well-wisher, not just someone who simply want to extract from you, simply want to exploit you, or simply want to see, oh, if there's no more use for you, okay, just get lost. No, not such a person. The temple authority is the one who's actually a well-wisher of the devotees. So it's either you have a Siksha Guru who you can review to, or you find such a competent temple authority that these problems can be discussed with. They don't. Okay, I hope that's okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your wonderful class and wonderful answers, Prabhuji. Devotees can now unmute themselves and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra as a gratitude for Prabhuji for giving such a nice class. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare. Very much, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Jai.
much.
Jai.
Beautiful lecture.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Rosie. Hare Krishna, Dana Pranams.